Okay, in this video I'm talking about how to do a custom load. So in previous games I had save and load, and when you press the load button to load to the next level, sometimes it won't show that you have anything saved. And so when that happens, you get an ugly message box that pops up either for your PC version or for your Android version. So I'm going to show you how to do a custom message box for that. So when you click on the load, you hover over it, you get this nice clean custom message that says sorry, there is no saved files. You click here, you can't undo it or get rid of the message. You press exit, it comes back. You also notice that the buttons are deactivated because I don't want it to interfere with the message at the top, on top of the screen anyways. So I'm going to show you how to do that and get rid of those buttons for a second and then come back. Alright, so when you click on the load, this is what you need to do. So this was originally shown as available. So it says show message no save file found. This right here is your ugly message box, either for the PC version or for your Android version. You'll get this ugly message box that comes up. So you want to make it more customized. So you want to either delete that information or just grade it out by using the backslashes. And you want to use this script here where it says instance underscore create x comma y comma object message, and you want to use that. So whatever image you create, you put your image name right there. So this object message is going to be right here. So you get this nice clean image here. Oh, you're sorry, there is no saved files, and I created that in Photoshop, or you can use some other program to do that. And I lowered the opacity on it, and I went to modify mask and only had it set up where when you click on the exit that it would go away the message. Now you could probably make a button and make it highlighted somehow, but you would have to do more work in lining the button up with the message box. So it's all in one image where I just have it masked to the exit button. So you click here, it won't go away. You have to click here to make the message box go away. That's why it's set up right there in that exit button area. Manual, rectangle, put in your coordinates. And then when the message box comes up, you want to deactivate your play button and your load button. So because the thing is with the Game Maker, if you have these buttons in the background, you have the message box at the top, the buttons for the play and load could interfere with your message box. So if your message box is in the way of your buttons and you're trying to click the exit button to get rid of your message box, you'll also click on the play button or the load again. Even though your depth is set a lot higher than your buttons, Game Maker doesn't see it that way. It only sees it as a image where the depth's going to be in front and the buttons are going to be in the back, but you're still going to be basically pressing on two objects, the button and the message box at the same time, and it's going to be glitchy where it's not going to understand. You're going to be like clicking on the message box and it's going to blink away, then you'll be clicking on the play button and it's going to go into the game, and it's like, why is it not working right? So what you want to do is you want to deactivate your buttons. You want to deactivate your buttons while you have the message box up here, so it doesn't interfere with your play and your load button. Then when you click click off the exit button once you want to get rid of the message box, then you want to activate your play button, your load button again. So if you wanted to, you can make this this message box the full screen. If you wanted the whole thing to be full screen, you could do, the full screen of your game with this message, and you can make a whole new background for it if you wanted to. But it wouldn't be considered a background; it'd be considered an object. But just make sure that you want to deactivate your buttons, because it's going to interfere with the button on the message box that pops up saying you have no save files, because you're actually going to be clicking on two buttons at the same time when you're trying to deactivate or get rid of your message box. So you want to make sure you deactivate your buttons in the background behind your message box. Then when you exit your message box, you want to activate your buttons for play and load. Now, like I said, the message box will only come up if you don't have a save. Once you have a save, then when you click on the load, it's not going to show the message box. It's going to go to the load area that you left off in the game. And I can show you that real quick. So when you play it, he's going to go to the next room. Then when I go back into it, it should load up. And it does. Loads to the second room. And it doesn't show the message box. So that's how you do a custom message box. And one other thing to talk about would be like to make the light, I'll show you in a minute. Let's see. Make it blink like that. So it's real easy. In your button, you just go to mouse enter, add event, mouse, and mouse enter down here. And then you go over to your main one tab, drag over a color sprite. I chose yellow. You got other colors here to choose from. Make sure your alpha is at 100 or maybe 50 or something. You want to make sure you can see the color. Then when you leave, the mouse leave, and the mouse leave location, because you're moving your mouse away from the button, you want to make sure you change it back to white and 100%. White will actually make your button back to the original color. Not these other colors here. Use white, and your alpha will be completely invisible, and it'll be back to the normal color of the button. You gotta have this white in here and set it to 100, so that way it goes back to the original color. Otherwise, when you leave the mouse, if you don't have this leave in here for the mouse, when you leave the mouse from the button, it's going to stay yellow. So you want to make sure it goes back to the normal color. You want to make sure it's set to white. And that's the same thing, same concept with the load. You do the same thing. Mouse enter when you go. That's basically when you go hover over it. Mouse enter is basically you hovering over the button. It's going to be yellow, 100%. And then when you leave the button, then it's going to go back to the original color of what the button was originally. Depth -20. Alright, and I can show you real quick. I can show you the save and load code, which I've already talked about in my previous videos, but the load, when you press load code here, so left press when you click on the load button, it's going to do the save 6 INI. It's going to save the room, and it's also going to save your score. So if you had a score, it would save your score, and it would save the room that you're in. Now this is not going to set the X and Y positioning of the character. I don't know how to do that yet. So like if you hit a flag in the game, then when you load it back up, it'll go back to where you were at originally, where the flag's at. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm not sure how to do the positioning, the X and Y coordinates for the character. So it's only going to, once you go to the next room, that's where it saves. You know. So that's what's happening here. This is a real basic load and save and load. It's going to, and you don't. I'm not sure you really need this in here. I think it needs to be set to room. I think I was messing with it, trying to get it to work for the positioning, and just trying to change the code a little bit to see if I can get it to work with the positioning where to save it at, but it didn't seem to work. But I do believe it was set to room originally. The code was. So if you want to play around with the message box, if you by chance go to the next room and it saves, and when you press the load button, you can't see the message box anymore because it's already saved. So all you have to do is change this number, the 6, to like 7, 8, or 9 or whatever. Make sure you change all the 6s to 7, 8, or 9. Change it here, change it here, change it down here. And you also want to change it in the save box. So the save box, you don't want to put the save box in the first room, because why would you want to save it in the first room? You want to save it in the second room. So you don't put a save box here, put a save box in the next room. So the save box states that, and like I said, you change the 6 to 7, 8, and 9 as well here too, if you want to make sure that you see a message box come up. So I can show you that again real quick. Change all these numbers to a different number. That way the computer doesn't have that file in its computer, so it's not in its database, so it's not going to find the save, so it should show that message again. Yeah, see, it's all set to room. See, room, score. So I'm just going to copy all this to 7, so it will show that message real quick. Message box, because there's no save anymore, because it was saved to 6. It was saved at 6, not 7. Make sure that your load is also set to 7, so that way it will show the message box that it didn't save because you have a different file. And see, the message box comes up because I don't have anything saved for save 7 yet. I had it saved for save 6, but not save 7, so it's not going to show the save until I go back and play the game again and get to that point on the second room. So it doesn't, you can't click off here because I have modified mask on the button only. And it shows the buttons again. Deactivate the buttons, reactivates the buttons, play. And it shouldn't save there because it's not the second room. And it doesn't. So when I move to the second room, it'll save. Because that's where I have the save box, is in the second room. Make sure it's not visible. And you also destroy other. Set it to destroy other, not self. Otherwise it won't save right. And then, like I said, if you have another room, like room 3, then you would use a different save box. So this could be room 3. Make sure you save other or destroy other. I don't know, you say destroy other, you might you might just need the one box. because I think destroy other, that means it's going to destroy that it's going to destroy that one in the room, but not the other one. So you may only need the one box for the save. Let me make sure that works. Yeah, so you only need the one box. So I'm going to delete this one. You don't need this one. So you only need the one save, because you say destroy other. So when you say destroy other, it's only going to destroy that one in the other room. You say destroy self, it's going to actually destroy all of them. So make sure you say destroy other. And you need that destroy other in there because it may have a memory leak or something. It might crash your game or something. So make sure you set it to destroy other, not to self. Because if you don't use this destroy object, it might have a memory leak in your game and it might crash your game. So that's why I would have that trash can in there and say destroy other. Because it's going to destroy the other image, not the one in the previous room. You set it to self, will destroy all of them. So make sure you set it to destroy other, and you only need that one image of the save, not visible in each room. And I would not put it in the first room because it makes no sense to put it in the first room. You want to put it in the second room. And I'm trying to figure out how to get the positioning right for the character in my next video for save. Thanks for watching.